What is going on, YouTube? MotoMike is back at it again. And today, we've got another great topic to talk about. But before we do all that, gonna get some quick shout-outs out of the way. Oh gosh, come on. Ah! So yeah, guys, just want to give a quick shout out to a couple people and new subscribers as well. Quick shout out to my boy Tank. Because you guys that, like, if you're new to my channel, you probably don't know who the heck I'm talking about, but it's alright. More shout outs. Laney. And last but definitely not least, my boy Dan. And not Do It With Dan. That's a different Dan. And yeah, that kind of sums it up for shout outs. So let's go ahead and get into this video. Our topic for discussion today is going to be, do you need a liter bike for the streets? City commutes, you know, no highway riding, just city stuff. And most of you off the bat are gonna probably think I'm gonna be biased and say, of course you need a liter bike, because I'm riding a scooter and I basically have very little torque. But the answer to that question is plain and simple: no, because you do not need a liter bike for the streets. And why am I saying this? One, because you are never going to use that bike's full potential on the street. Guaranteed. Like, it's not even an if type thing. Like, no, you're never going to. 1,000 cc's. You know, like, when will you ever get the chance to use that bike to 100% of what it's capable of? Never. It's just not going to happen on a street with like 45 miles an hour as a speed limit. When do you think you'll get the chance to do that? It's not going to happen. Even super sports. When I say super sports, I mean like a 600cc bike, like an R6 or CBR 600RR. You're never going to use that bike to its full potential on the street. It's never going to happen. And why is that? Because the road conditions, they just aren't ideal for you to be able to knee drag it all the way down in a corner. You just can't. The roads are too unpredictable. You've got debris laying everywhere. Other cars are dripping oil everywhere you go, and like other fluids. So, you know, you can't be prepared for what's on the street. You never can. It's like, don't even bother trying to Rossi it up on the street. It's not a good idea, nor will it ever be. What are you doing? Some people just don't know how to drive. But yeah, guys, using a super sport on the street, you know, you're not going to use its full potential. You just won't. A 300, a 250, maybe. It depends. You might be able to use its full potential on the street. Where are all these kids going? I probably shouldn't have done any of that, but they were all on the way. For those of you that, you know, you're like, oh, I need a liter bike for the streets. I need it! You don't. I'll be honest with you. You really don't. And you might think I'm biased because, like, I'm like, oh, a scooter's plenty for the street. It honestly isn't. even a 150 like this, it's underpowered. And for commuting from, what I do, I commute from my house to my college, and that's about it. I don't really go anywhere else. So a top speed of 55 miles an hour is good enough for me for right now. Obviously, if I were to move like away from where I live right now, then yeah, I need more than what I have. Like a 300 would be best, but a 600, 1000, nah, I don't need that. Not for the street, and I don't plan on going to the track anytime soon. So it's like, when am I ever gonna use that? It's like buying a McLaren. I'm never gonna use that car the way it's meant to be used on a track. But don't get me wrong, guys. I'm not bashing 1000s. They are such nice bikes. Oh my goodness. Like the Yamaha R1M. Oh my goodness, that is such a beautiful bike. And I really love how they styled the R6, the new R6, after the R1, after the new R1M. It looks great, guys. You cannot go wrong with a bike like that. In terms of looks. If you're a beginner, I do not suggest you ever get that bike as your first bike. It can be done, but it's pretty sketchy. In my opinion, it's just something to get you in trouble. If you don't know how to really ride, but you buy it anyway, you're just gonna get yourself in trouble, or you're gonna drop it, which is gonna suck a whole lot. Because you're gonna be like, oh man, I dumped my bike. Yeah, that's why you don't buy 1000 as your first bike. That's supposed to be like you buy like a small bike, like a 125 Grom, or a scooter, or a Ninja 250, the supposed quintessential starter bike. You get something like that, and you go ahead and move up from there. But you don't buy a 600 or a 1000 and then expect to not drop it. It's gonna happen eventually, and you're gonna hate yourself for it when you drop it. Go ahead, buy a leader bike. I have nothing against them. They are fantastic bikes. It's just, you can't really use them the way you can use a 200, or excuse me, a 250, a 300, or a 150 on the streets. You just can't. Because this thing, I can ring it out everywhere I go. Like everywhere. In a parking lot, on the streets, I can hit top speed all the time. And I can never get in trouble, because my top speed is 55. Most speed limits around here, 40, 45, like in the Coconut Creek area. So, it's not crazy fast speed, and at the same time, I'm keeping up with other cars. So, I don't need a leader bike. Would I ever buy one? To be honest, heck no. They're expensive to own. The insurance is crazy, especially because I'm a lot younger than most people who do get them. And that is a Ducati Monster 821. Very nice bike. The guy that rides it, real cool person. And yeah, guys, you just, you got to think before you go through with these kinds of things. Don't just go buy a bike just because, like, oh, I want to look cool, man. I want to get all the girls. Women, they don't care either. They're just like, it's a motorcycle. What's so cool? What's so great about it? I'm like, what's so great about it? It's a motorcycle. To ride on the streets and do whatever the heck you want. Yeah, sure, lane splitting is illegal in Florida, but hey, you still get that fun. Motorcycle is a motorcycle. So yeah, just, do whatever. So yeah, guys, anyway, that's just my whole take on the whole, Do you need a 1000 for the street? Is it worth it? I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay tuned for more. Comment, like, subscribe. Peace out.